Are we live? I think we're live. Yes. All right. We are live. Welcome to the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get everything get. Whoops. Sorry. I just muted it right there. I'm using a new setup. I've got a mic right here. Let's see. Maybe it'll work. I'm not sure. Maybe the mic will work. Maybe it won't. I'm still, I usually use StreamYard, but this time I'm using just YouTube to do it. So we're going to see if, if the sound is better, if the live stream is just a better overall experience, and things like that. So I'm going to put this a little bit closer to my mouth, just right here at the top, just right there at the very, very top, where everything sounds good. Jonathan, you're already in. How's it going, Jonathan? Hope you're good. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is different because I can't highlight people's comments, and so I'm just gonna have to. You're gonna have to look for the comments yourself in the chat. But yeah, so how is the volume? How is the volume for everything? Does it sound okay? Does everything sound good? Because I want to make sure everything sounds okay. You're having a good experience before we jump into everything. So let me know. Let me know. Hey, James, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. I'll get to your question in just a little bit. Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry. I'm pretty good about reading the chats and everything. So yeah, just let me know how everything's looking, how everything's feeling, how everything's sounding. If it sounds good, just let me know. Okay. So, last night I was on this live stream with Snarky and Walkabout, and to a certain extent, Bunny. We were talking about teaching in China and sort of our goals and best practices, advice that we would give people, and things like that. And I thought, you know what? That's thinking about. I was on a stream where we get into lesson planning, where I actually just talk about how I plan my lessons, and I actually sit and plan a lesson with you guys. So this is that first attempt. So I'm going to be doing that. So yeah, okay. So James, let's talk to James real quick. Online teaching in China. Well, online teaching at least for me, it's gone away. I don't do online teaching anymore. I'm back in the classroom. So that's great. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see a photo that I took, because I fairly regularly post photos of the classroom if I'm doing something new with the layout, if I've got a new lesson, or if I just am having a good day, I'll be posting that. So I am actually back in the classroom. Masks are off and everything. Let me show you that. So there is my class actually. So it's a new setup. It's an interesting setup. There are screens kind of all around the room, and my podium is in the middle of the classroom. So I have a full 180 degree kind of seating arrangement around me. So I'm going to have to incorporate that into some future lesson planning, because the layout of the classroom is so important, right? You have to have things set up in the right way. So there we go. Let's talk to Iceman real quick. Every 5 years, do you need to come back to USA, stop for 6 months? No, I don't. Oh, right. So the 5-year rule is not a thing anymore. The 5-year rule used to be if you lived in China and you were on a working visa, you would stay in. Sorry, my nose is very itchy this morning. If you were on a working visa, yeah, it would be 5 years teaching, and then you'd have to go back to your home country for a year, and then you would have to come back, or you'd have to change your visa type. You'd have to be a student for a year or something, which really scared me because I was on my 5th year, and then right I was on my 5th year, and I was, like, having to think about, do I have to go back to the USA? And then actually, like, that next year where I was gonna have to leave China, they got rid of that rule. They got rid of the rule, so I didn't have to do that anymore. So now everything's good. You can stay here as long as you want. So cheers to that. Oh, and since we're talking teaching, it's funny. I had coffee. Um, I always have coffee with me whenever I teach, and my students always are like, "What is he drinking? What is he drinking?" Like they whisper sometimes, and I got a few questions last week from different classes, like, "What are you drinking?" They thought it was like medicinal wine. Like, nah. Well, it's medicinal in a sense. Hmm. But yeah, let's get into it. So lesson planning. Yes, thank you, Iceman. Like and share. That'd be fantastic. Yeah, I can actually see the number of likes it's gotten. I can see the number of people, and I can see the number of likes. So there's one. I suppose it's yours, Iceman. So thank you for that. Um, all right. So yeah, lesson planning, planning lessons. Now I do have my curriculum, and I don't know if I can share my screen on YouTube or not. Let me look around for that particular setting. Let me see. It looks like, what is this? I'm clicking buttons now. Um, let's see. No, it looks like I cannot share my screen, so that's unfortunate. So basically, what my curriculum looks like is I focus on a few different things. So so I've got it kind of split up, from I've got like normal classes, and then I've got honors classes, and I had a few ideas of things that I could teach. I have it kind of finalized in a link, like in my Google Drive. There's a link to that if you actually want to like open up and see what I'm teaching this semester. You can actually like do that. I mean, I think you can download it as well because I'm pretty confident in what I do. I'm confident that I'm a good teacher, that I put on enough thought into my classes. So if you go into the description right now, you'll see a link to my Google Drive, and it's got a link to one of my lessons, and it's got a link to my fall 2020 syllabus, which kind of lines up with this right here. So I focus on things like the ability to describe things. I focus on the ability to tell stories, to give presentations, and just to be an overall more comfortable speaker. So there's really 4 aspects that I focus on. So all right, here's a couple of questions before we get. So online teaching didn't soar there. So from James, online teaching didn't soar. It did for a little bit. Like online teaching was the only choice that people had. So yeah, it of course soared for a little bit, but everything has its time. So um, people people really missed being in the classroom. So as soon as being back in the classroom became feasible, people wanted to get back in the classroom. So schools are now open, everything's normal, everyone's back to school in the classroom, physically there. So online teaching's it's gone now. There are companies like VIP Kid, like VIP Kid, who teach online and stuff like that. But yeah, online teaching is mostly gone as far as I know. So. So, Mark, Austin, 你什么时候回美国? So, when are you going back to the USA? I don't know. I don't know. Austin, 你为什么不做生意? So why do you not open a business? Why do I not open a business? I'm not a business guy. I don't like business. I don't like numbers. I don't. Yeah, I don't like it. Plus, like being a foreigner in China, it's really hard to open a business. So, yeah, and it's always like, oh, you can make money. Well, who cares? Like, I get money doing what I love already. Like I teach and I love teaching. So I teach at a university, I teach at one of the best universities in China. So why would I want to leave that behind and like gamble on a business? I don't care about that. Like money's not important. I don't care about money. If you teachers get into teaching because they love it. So like business is especially dirty. How many hours a week do I work? I work I got 16 hours per week. And I have been teaching for, I guess it's 2012. So teaching's been about 8 years. 8 years teaching in various universities around China. So yeah, let's get into it. So I need to open up my PDF that has all my lessons in it. So let me type that in, Adobe. So let's see. Because I'm using sort of a mix of older lessons and I've got some ideas for newer lessons. And this is the part that I wish I could share with you. Maybe I do that thing where I take a photo and then I show you the photo. But again, the link to this is in my is in the Google Drive. The link is in the description. So you can check that out. But so, if I were to just like show you very quickly what the PDF looks like, it looks kind of like this. I've got the topics on the left side, and then I've got the sort of targets for the language. I've got the verb tenses that are used, and then a few notes for activities, or just random notes for the class. And, I'm looking through it. I've got small talk next week, then giving advice. Those lessons are solid. I don't need to change those. Iceman being very nice. Thank you. Give some love for Austin. Share and like. Thank you. Yeah, sharing is the best thing you can do to help this channel. So small talk, giving advice. I've got descriptions. Descriptions here, and then it goes into other things. So let me see the next, because this is actually 3 pages. This this lesson plan, or this little curriculum, it's actually 3 pages. So okay. So the first third of the semester is stuff I've already kind of solidified. Okay, and then the next part. So after that, we're getting into a little bit of newer territory. We've got unreal and hypothetical situations. So kind of imagining in English. So I don't even know if you can read this or not, but it's there. So like using what if statements. What if this happened? What if, this person did this, and if this thing happens, then this thing could happen, or it would happen. So there's that. The one I might work on today is number 12, and that is unpopular opinions. So I think, because that's one I've never done, I've never experimented with that. Unpopular opinions. So basically, if you BBC Radio does a program called Unpopular Opinions, where people call in to BBC Radio and they share their unpopular opinions with the DJ and with celebrity guests that the DJ has on. There's a whole jingle, and there's a mini debate that kind of goes on. Like they ask this person, why do you think that Game of Thrones is overrated? Why do you think that Star Wars should never have existed? Why do you think? So these are unpopular opinions. And I like that idea for a class. The idea of someone raising an unpopular opinion and then people being able to debate this opinion with someone, because I do think it happens in life. So, so if I think unpopular opinions, so let me write it down. So James, I'll get to your question in just a second. So I have to think about two things when I'm planning this particular lesson. I have some of my classes are 45 minutes long, and some of my classes are 90 minutes long. So I'm gonna have to find a way to make this lesson work for a 45-minute class, and I'm gonna have to find a way to make it work for a 90-minute class. So 45 minutes, 10-minute break, 45 minutes. So yeah, that's okay. Sorry, I'm just looking at a few things. Yeah, Iceman, thank you very much. You're awesome. You're really helping out, really contributing. Thank you. So with unpopular opinions, with my lessons, with planning lessons, I generally will. I have to think of what's my final activity. That's the thing you should start with. If you are planning a lesson, you need to think of what's my final activity. Because the final activity is the climax. It's the goal of like what you want your students to be able to do. So you think of your last activity first. And my last activity will be something like that unpopular opinion show. So I want to like kind of go down to the end of the road and say unpopular opinions debate. So there's my final activity. And then I have to think about, what does that exactly mean? What does that activity actually look like? So I've got a couple of ideas. I was thinking maybe, let's see. So I'm going to type a few things. Unpopular opinions debate. What does that look like? Okay. So I've got my final activity, and I've got to think about what does it look like? Well, it looks a lot like that segment on the show. So there will be an unpopular opinion raised. There will be a maybe 2-minute debate discussion on that opinion. So there we go. Unpopular opinion, a 2-minute debate or discussion on that topic, and then the opinions kind of rotate. Like the person who's the sort of focus is it rotates. So you've got a few mini debates, and then I have to think about what sort of interaction patterns do I want? Do I want this to be a mingling activity? Do I want this to be a partner activity with just 2 people? Do I want this to be a group of 4? What do I want? I think for this one, probably 3 to 4 is probably the best. I think this one is probably the best interaction pattern. A group of 3 or 4 might be the best. Okay, James, do you ever teach A1 students? Oh, not in a while. Yeah, not in a while. Have I ever taught A1 students? Yes, I have actually. Yeah. Though I don't think I've taught any A1 students since, yeah, not since I was at a training school, I don't think, because at training schools you get a lot of really, really young kids. So I don't think since I was at I2 I ever taught A1 students. Um, in my classes at Sichuan Uni, I do get some A2 students. You do get A2 students. Quite a few of those. You get B1 students and you get B2 students. It's generally A2 to C1 is the level that I work with. So it's a big range, right? A2 to C1 speakers. And if you don't know what all of this means, like A1, A2, B2, B1, all these, like, so you have to look up CEFR levels. So you'll have to look up CEFR levels, then you'll kind of know what I'm talking about. Oh, shut up, Mark. Just calm down. I don't read all of the chats at the same time. Just calm down. Also, you should know that, people don't like talking about their salaries. That's kind of small talk 101. It's okay, man. Just because I don't answer your question immediately doesn't mean I'm ignoring you. Just calm down. Man, heart of glass. Heart of glass. It's all right, man. It's okay. It'll be fine. It'll all come out eventually. Okay. So I've got my last activity. I've got unpopular opinion debate. It'll be unpopular opinion raised, 2-minute debate or discussion. Then it'll rotate, maybe a group of 3 or 4. That's fine. And so then, that's the activity. So I've got to think within an activity. Within the activity, what sort of language, what's the point of the lesson? What sort of language am I giving them? So this is a specific skill. This opinion's unpopular. It's unpopular opinion. So you might want to say, if it's a sensitive and unpopular opinion, you might want to say, this may just be me, but I think okay, this may just be me, but I think Game of Thrones is overrated. This may just be me, or let's see, other phrases like this. So let me think of what else would you say to kind of soften your opinion. If you're going to soften up your language, you have to think of what would you say? This could just be me. So you're getting into modal verbs. This may just be me. This could just be me. This might just be me. That works. So that would be a phrase I could use. You could say maybe, and this might not go over well. This might not go over well, but, and then you could say that. Great point, but yeah. Or say, this might sound crazy. So there's all sorts of phrases that you could put in here. So I think part of the lesson will be giving students like a list of, like a template for certain kind of language, for certain like viewpoints. Like, if you're really nervous about introducing this opinion, you can use this. Or if you're feeling more confident with your opinion, you can use this. If you're, so recognizing that your opinion may not be popular is important. So this might sound crazy, but, and then you can think of phrases to respond to that. It's like, okay, Game of Thrones is overrated. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Or phrases like, are you serious? Are you serious? Things like this. So these kinds of phrases would be your responses. And so this is sort of one thing that I do when I plan a lesson. We start with the last activity. We think of what phrases are we going to be using, and then when we figure all that out, what sort of language is necessary? When we figure that out, then we can build it. We can build the lesson in reverse. So here, let me take a look at the chat here. Let's see. Okay, after the weight loss, you look great. Yeah, thanks. Thanks a lot. Yeah, when people say I look great after the weight loss, it just means, well, to me, I just think, oh, you haven't been watching, like you haven't seen one of my videos in a long time. um, let's see, 2021. So do I think in 2021 that Americans will be able to come to China? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. Americans can already come to China if they have a valid work permit and like if you're on A or Q, or not a Z or a Q visa, you can already come back with certain stipulations. That's fine. But as far as like tourism, I don't know. I don't know. Bill, have I thought about taking the kids to a KTV? I don't have any kids. Or just do a nice piece in class. Like, no, I don't do music in class. There's no I don't, within my particular context, I don't find music in class very useful. Because my students have already been learning English for 10, 15 years. They've been learning English for most of their life. So I find that using music is not all that practical. I think the music is really, really good for elementary students, especially. It's very good. And maybe like upper elementary, or just like right when you get into intermediate, that's really good. But yeah, I don't find it too useful in my particular context, especially with my 45-minute lessons. It's the lesson's too quick. I don't have time to play music and do all this. I prefer to have students talking because my class is a speaking class. So, speaking class in music's more of a listening activity. And I also I try to make lessons that don't involve any materials or any content. The students generate the content. Everything comes from the students. So like unpopular opinions, right? This lesson that we're kind of workshopping. Anyone can have an unpopular opinion about anything, right? So students can generate their own content. They have their own popular opinion. And then other people can debate that unpopular opinion. Anybody can do that. Or my lesson about complaining that I just made a video about. Anyone can complain about any subject, anytime, anywhere, with anybody, like that. Descriptions. You can describe, photos. Everyone's got photos on their phone, so they can describe that. There's an unlimited amount of animals in the world, so you can describe an animal. These are universally applicable lessons. So I tend to not do something like music, whereas some students don't even like music. In music, you don't want to have a classroom full of students playing music on their phone, because we all like different sorts of music. You could talk about artists, you can talk about that, but I wouldn't sorry, it's a very long answer. I see the chat's blowing up, so that's great. I'll get to the chat in a little bit. So yeah, if you like this sort of lesson, let me know. Hit that like button. I would really enjoy that. And I'll be able to see if you do it or not because I see there's 12 likes at the moment. There's 22 people watching. 13. Bam, there it is. There it is. You guys are awesome. So, um, okay. So unpopular opinions. So with this with this lesson, I think of my lead in. So then I would show, if I want to get people's attention, I might show, I might show a cartoon. I'll put a picture of a cartoon at the very beginning of my PowerPoint presentation um, as a lead in. A cartoon, or maybe a couple of cartoons showing people debating, or maybe showing a speech bubble of like, I think, uh, and then an unpopular opinion. Let's see, lead in, and then you elicit the topic. I do that a lot. I find that I tend to do that a lot. I will have like a picture up on there. I might have the students discuss it, what they think the lesson is about, and then I'll get to eliciting the topic, um, and then I discuss my aims. So we'll get there in a minute. Let's check the chat. Let's check the chat. Okay. Scrolling up, scrolling up. Okay. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Let's see, some politics stuff. Don't like that. Okay. Do most Chinese unis demand TEFL certification? Yes. Yes, they do. I would say anyone. So this is from Rob. Okay, Rob, thank you for the question. Yeah, most unis do require that now, pretty much all of them. If you have some sort of TEFL or TESOL or CELTA certificate, you will automatically be preferred to someone who doesn't have that. So definitely get it. I would say to anyone who's looking at getting some sort of certificate, you need to get a face-to-face class. These online programs, I've done one. I have an online TESOL certificate, and it was okay. It was fine, I guess. But then I went and did a CELTA course face-to-face, and it was so much better for me to have that face-to-face class where I actually teach students face to face. I'm actually like making the materials for the students, and I can give them real time feedback, and they can give me feedback after the course is over or after the class is over. You have tutors, experienced teachers who can watch you and give you notes on stuff. So if you're going to get some sort of certification, you need to have that face to face. Make sure it's an internationally accredited course. You have like this many hours of teaching, this many hours of observation, this many hours of input sessions, things like that. So like CELTA or Trinity TESOL, these are really good. Or university affiliated TEFL TESOL programs. So yeah. Okay, let's see. I teach and learn languages with audios using transcripts. I do specialize in speaking because my that's my course. My course is Yingyu Koyu. It's oral English, so I don't use audio and transcripts and things like that. So yeah, that's not my thing. Man, Iceman with the man, Iceman is really like shilling for me. I really appreciate that. I promise it's not me in disguise, but mm, Iceman is like the ultimate hype man. You rock, man. Mm, I'm out of coffee. Okay, let's see. Where do I live in China? From Misty. Misty, I live in Chengdu, the capital of Sichuan province. So if like this is China, I live kind of in the southwest area, or I guess for you it would be over here. I don't know if this is mirrored or not, but yeah, South Korea, it's kind of the city of pandas, and they talk about spicy food and things like that here. So yeah, Chengdu's awesome. I love this city. Okay, let's see what's going on. Let's see. People who are doing business there usually start as a teacher looking for, yeah, okay. So I think Ip Desperado is right. It's an unfortunate reality that people who come to China usually they come to China and teach, but they don't come to China to teach. They 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 use teaching as just a way to get their visa, and then once they make their connections and they figure out the lay of the land, then they start opening businesses or doing other things like that. And that's unfortunate because that results in a lot of really like poor quality teaching. It results in a lot of terrible teachers because let's be honest, okay? If you want to teach English and uh, it's very easy to be a bad teacher. It's very easy to be a mediocre teacher because you can just show up and follow the textbook. Okay, guys, chapter 2. Today we're going to look at this. Do the exercise in the book, and then like it's very easy to do that. And China has enabled it because of a few things like the native English speakers only rule. You can only teach English legally if you're a native English speaker. I don't agree with that policy. I don't think it's a good policy. Um, Anyone who's qualified, and also just the demand for English teachers is so high that they'll sort of, I don't want to say they'll take anyone, but it does give that impression. It's so easy to be a bad English teacher because people think it's easy. But it's really hard to be a good English teacher because of people like that who are just using teaching for the visa. Um, they're not teaching because they love teaching. They don't want to be teachers. And it really upsets me. It really upsets me. I don't, yeah, I don't like those kind of people because I do love teaching. I love what I do. Um, and I want to be the best that I can be, but not everyone's like that. Um, let's get back to this for a minute. So here, let me turn this on you. If you were going to make a lesson about unpopular opinions, and you know that you want to end with an unpopular opinions debate, you have these sort of language points. So, um, what would be your aims? What would be your aims? So for me, aims would be maybe be able to express, let's say, we need to be specific here. Let's say maybe 2 to 3 of my unpopular opinions in a maybe a sensitive manner. That sounds weird. I don't like that phrasing. So um, be able to express 2 or 3 of my um, in a sensitive, in an appropriate way. Okay. So be able to express 2 or 3 of my unpopular opinions in an appropriate way. We could maybe add something into the 90-minute version of this class, um, saying be better able to recognize um, uh, sensitive slash divisive slash unpopular opinions. Okay, so there we go. Then let's see, better able to recognize sensitive. Okay, so that's two at least. We can maybe think of a couple more, but let me check the chat. Let me check the chat. Whoa, okay, let's see. See, Rob, thanks. Austin heading to Chengdu in 2021 with my wife for a 2-year working holiday. Maybe I'll see you around in Tongzilin. Maybe, yeah, maybe, absolutely. I don't go to Tongzilin that much, but yeah, it's absolutely possible. Um, absolutely. Okay. Let's see. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da. Okay. Do Chinese prefer American or British certifications for English language? Um, I find that that's changing. So that's a good question, James. What sort of certifications are the best? Um, Now, personally, in my opinion, I feel like the British certifications are the best. So, like a Sir Tessel from Trinity College or Cambridge CELTA, those are the best because the quality of these certificates is very standardized. They have external auditors that visit every single course that's being done. They always have external auditing. Um, they just have really good quality control. So I think those are better. But these qualifications are not as well known in China as they are in the rest of the world. So right now, I see many more um, employers talking about TEFL certificates or TESOL certificates. But you'll notice like more well-known places, like better employers, will also include CELTUB or will include Sir TESOL because they know about it. But I think within the next few years, that will change. They will start recognizing more and more of those programs. So, like for example, if you have a CELTA and your employer doesn't know what that is, you just explain to them this is Cambridge, University's teaching certificate, or Trinity College certificate or whatever. That's if you explain it, they'll understand. Let's see. Mark J. Teaching jobs give you steady income, give you time to get familiar with the environment and search for better opportunities. Yeah, that's what a lot of people use teaching jobs for. Um, let's see. Let's see. Austin doesn't seem like the kind of person who would open a business. Well, that's right. Yeah, I know I'm not a business guy. I think I've already said that in this stream. Um, Austin teaching college in China. It's best teaching jobs. I think so. Teaching at a university is the best kind of teaching job. It just is because universities give so much freedom to their teachers. Like my university, Sichuan University, one of the top unis in China, right? It's a fantastic university. They gave me a book and they said, here's the book. You can use this if you want to, but if you want to create your own curriculum, you can do that. So that's it. That's it. So I was free to do whatever I wanted. And I've sort of been free to do whatever I wanted um, my entire teaching career, no matter what university I've been at. There was one job that I had where I did have to follow a strict curriculum, but that was just one. The others, they say, here's a book. You can use that as the foundation if you like, but do whatever you want. Um, that's fine. So yeah, it's so good, and the workload is not super heavy, and the pay is all right. It's like you can definitely live on a university salary, though by no means will you be rich. So, yeah, Let's see, some dude named Ben who has a bar in Chongqing. Well, good for him. Have I thought about coming to the U.S. and working in a community college? So that's from City Lights. I've thought about it, but I don't have the qualifications to do that. I do have a lot of teaching experience, but if you want to teach in a community college in the U.S., you need a master's degree or higher. Um, so yeah, I don't have the qualifications for that, but that's something I'm looking at doing in the next couple of years is doing some sort of online master's program, something like that. Austin, you look very fit now. Well, thank you. Again, that just means you have not watched my videos in a long time. So welcome back. Welcome back. Bobby, can you explain the popularity of the app Little Red Book? Yeah, I saw you mentioned that in I think that was my Q&A video, and I have that saved for part 2 of the Q&A video, which I'm going to film this week sometime. So, I'll get to that. I had not heard of that book, Xiao Hongshu. I'd not heard of it, but I have done some research on it. So I will talk about that in the Q&A, in the next Q&A video, which I will film this week. So yeah. Hey, Snarky's in the chat. Fantastic. Love Snarky. The best. So, and Snarky had a live stream with me and a walkabout in Rojo last night. So me, Snarky, Rojo, and Bunny. We were all on a teaching live stream last night. So if you want to watch a replay of that, you can go to Snark's channel and check it out. It was good. We had some internet issues at the beginning, but it got better. All right, so there's a couple more questions here, but I'll get back to the lesson here. So I've got my unpopular opinions lesson. I've got the lead in, and I've got a couple of aims. So be able to better recognize what opinions are sensitive or divisive or unpopular. Be able to express 2 or 3 of my opinions in an appropriate way, and maybe be better able to respond to an unpopular opinion. And of course, all of these in parentheses in English. Be better able to respond to an unpopular opinion that I disagree with. I think those are 3 solid aims. I like that. Mark, I do not talk politics. So sorry, I'm not going to be answering political questions. I never have, and I never will. I suppose I used to, but I don't do that now. I don't do politics. Too much drama. I'm not about the drama. I'm just a chill guy. So I've got my lead in, I've got my aims, and I've got my final activity. Now I need to find ways to kind of build up into my final activity. So the first thing that I might want to do is get an idea of what sort of topics could people have unpopular opinions on. So that might be something. That might be something I could explore. What topics? So then people might say TV shows. Unpopular opinions about famous people, like singers, actors, something like that. Singers, actors, things like that. Movies. I find that a lot of unpopular opinions come in the form of pop culture. So this would be a good pop culture lesson. Also in terms of politics, but this is China, so we don't really talk politics. and I never do in my class. So we get an idea of TV shows, famous people, singers, actors, movies, uh, music. Interesting. I had not thought of that. Pop culture. So pop culture stuff. And Chinese students are all about pop culture. They love talking about Taylor Swift, and Jay Cho, and uh, any sort of K-pop thing. So yeah, that would definitely be something that would like fire off their um, like I think BTS is overrated would be an unpopular opinion. So yeah, that could get their brains going. I could also ask them maybe to prepare some unpopular opinions before they come into class. Um, Prepare unpopular opinions. So that might be a homework the week before. Prepare 5 opinions that you have that may not be popular if you express them. So there you go. So that could be good. So yeah, that would be, so yeah, we can think of some topics. Great. And then we could ask them, well, here, let's get back to the chat. Let's see. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, yeah. Snarky is in Shanghai, might end up in Hong. Are you going to go back to Hong Kong, Snarky? That's cool. That's cool. City Lights is asking, am I back in the classroom? I am. I am back in the classroom. Everything's absolutely normal here in China. I think Snarky is back in the classroom. So yeah, there's. Oh, wait a second. I'm trying to find a photo of my classroom. I had one up on my Instagram, so you'll see my classroom this semester. There it is. So yeah, that was my classroom last week. One of my classrooms. So Mark J is watching with talented Mr. Ripley. I haven't seen it, but I know about it. That's good. Bobby, you should pay 300 to 500 RMB to hire an actor, actress to do a street food vlog with you. Focus more on food with your vlog. See some easy views. Well, yeah. I could pay 300 to 500 RMB, but the thing is, I would not make my money back. YouTube is such a it's too difficult to make videos where you actually invest money because like I won't get that money back. I only make like $30 per month doing YouTube. Like that's it. I make 30 to maybe $50 per month doing YouTube. So I'm not going to get that money back for that video because that video that I make that video will only make like $5. Most of my YouTube money comes from, like most of my views and my clicks, they come from videos that I made a long time ago. So I'm not going to make that money back. It's not a smart investment. I would rather spend the money on like plugins or software, things that I can use like over time. It's unfortunate because like a channel like mine just doesn't get the views. It doesn't get the money that you know that I would enjoy because then I could invest in other things. I don't see that sort of money, unfortunately. Yeah, and food videos are easy views. They are. It's easy views, and that's sort of the reason I don't like it because personally, I don't think. Here's an unpopular opinion. Okay, personally, this is just me. Okay, so here we go. This is just me, but I think food videos are pointless. They're cheap and easy, mindless entertainment. They don't add any value to the discussion. They don't. That's just my personal opinion. I think food videos are a waste of time because I've done that. I've done the food video thing, and I got like really famous on it in the Chinese media. I did all these TV shows and all this kind of stuff, but ultimately, like, what did I end up doing? Ultimately, where, like, um, what sort of value did I add to the discussion about, like, me being a foreigner in China, me experiencing all these new things? Like, what did I do? Like, ultimately, I just said, like, Chinese food is great. You should try it. That that's all. Like, and I could just say that right now. That's yeah. I don't find any value in that. It's just like, yeah, Chinese food is cool. Well, yeah, but there's so much more to China than just food, right? There's so much more to China. I don't find that important. I don't find that valuable. I would rather give information about traveling somewhere, because when you travel somewhere, you can show people the landscape, and you can talk about the geography. You can talk about the the history of the area. You can, like, show people, like, what the local people look like if they're minorities. You can see different forms of dress. You can see the architecture. You can see, like, there's a lot more added. There's a lot more value to that discussion, than, I mean, you could also put food into that video, but I personally find that more valuable. Plus things like, maybe a teaching live stream like this. You can say, like, because as a teacher, you are a sort of, well, as just a foreigner in China in general, you are kind of a diplomat. You are a diplomat. You are representing your country, and in China, especially, you're kind of representing all foreigners. You're representing, like, your entire race. I'm representing white people. So I would rather give a little bit of a meatier discussion, and show how I care about my job, and how I care about showing new places, and how I take the time to approach the culture and the history of everything. So anyway, that's sort of my kind of unpopular opinion, and my rant is just, uh, I don't like food videos. They're shallow and not valuable. Okay, so Snarky, what if you did a group exercise where everyone split into groups of 2 or 3 and see what individuals' popular opinions are, and then present their comparisons? So yeah, that's sort of what I have here for my final activity. Is sort of a group. It's a group sort of debate or discussion about these unpopular opinions. What I was also thinking of unpopular opinions, I could get students to have a small piece of paper right here, and they would, like, write down one popular opinion they have, and they would kind of not fold it, but they would have an unpopular opinion, and they write it down, and they uh, put it on their table, and then I collect all the papers, I sort through it, and I randomly pick one out. And then, okay, guys, okay, the unpopular opinion is this, 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 this. And then everyone in the class kind of discusses it at the same time. That might be an idea as well. That might be an idea as well. All students submit unpopular opinions. I draw. Okay. Yeah, because what I don't like in my class, what I don't like is to have people present, unless it's a presentation specific class. I don't like having people present, because if you have a class of 40 people and then one person's presenting their answer, well, then you have 39 people who are not doing anything except listening. I don't think that's a good idea in terms of teaching. I would much rather someone present to a group, to their own group, or present to a different group, something like that. Or just I give a prompt and the entire class discusses it, something like that. Um, so yeah, it's me and Snarky. Yeah, Snarky, you and I have sort of the same ideas. We're getting there. Okay. Du-du-du-du-du-du-du. Are there teaching opportunities for African teachers in China from Psalm 1848? Okay. Um, y- yes and no. South African teachers don't, they tend to find teaching jobs easy enough, especially like, you hate to say it, but the white South Africans tend to find jobs okay. But if you're, I mean, if you're a black man from Africa, if you're a black woman from Africa, um, it tends to be a little more difficult because um, Africa's super diverse, right? You have, up in the north, you've got Arab Africa, and you have a mix of people speaking Arabic or speaking French as well as English. And then you get down into the people who speak Swahili, and then there's all these like languages in between. There's, of course, English sprinkled in the mix. So when people see that you're from an African nation, they'll think, oh, these people are not native English speakers. Or even if they are, they'll tend to think, oh, they must have a strong accent. And I tend to meet the most South Africans, and I tend to meet the most Nigerians. So, like these two. The Nigerians I've met tend to have pretty strong accents. And then the South Africans tend to have lighter accents, but still noticeable. Um, so, yeah, while you may come from an African nation where English is the native language or a native language, the your potential employers may not see it that way, and may the fact that you may be black could be an issue as well. That's just, you gotta call it like it is, right? Um, so the Africans that I've met here tend to teach in kindergartens. That seems to be a really common thing. They tend to teach in kindergartens or primary schools. I don't tend to see them in high schools or universities. Um, but I would say the vast majority are in training centers. The vast majority are in training centers. So I do work with one South African guy at the university. He's a great guy. He's an awesome teacher. Um, whoa, what's going on here? I see a member or something. Oh, Bobby has become a cadre. All right, fantastic, man. I love your face, man. Bobby is in the gang. He is one of the China hands. Thank you very much, Bobby. Um, Check the community tab of my YouTube channel. You'll see links to the Discord and other things that I'll be posted. So if you become a channel member or a patron, uh, the main way that I get your perks to you, especially if you're a channel member, is through the Discord. So if you become a member and you don't join the Discord server, it's pretty hard for me to get in regular contact with you. So definitely join the Discord. You'll see links to that in the members only posts. All right. So back to Bobby, he said, but remember that with YouTube, the more mindless, the more it appeals to a broader audience, which is the key to success. And he's totally right. If you make stupid, mindless content, it tends to do very well, which is why it's one reason my channel is so unsuccessful. I've been doing videos for almost 10 years and I've got 25,000 subscribers. That's a terrible YouTuber right there. But you know, that's I've chosen to do that. I've chosen to put more thought into my channel and make more substantial videos, and I hope that they do help people. They actually help people, not just give them entertainment. I meet so many people in Chengdu, especially because my videos are really heavily focused on Chengdu. I meet people in Chengdu all the time who said, "Oh, I watched your videos about Chengdu. They really helped me, get to know the city before I came here." Like, well, fantastic, man. That's awesome. Well, that makes me feel good. I like that. Wait, what? Do we have another member? Rob W, welcome to China Hands, man. Rob, you are the man. All right, so we've gotten 2 members out of this live stream. This is awesome. So yeah, Bobby and Rob are part of the gang. So like I said, check the community tab and all that. So yeah, this has been a good month. I got 2 new patrons this morning. They were nice emails to wake up to. I got 2 new patrons, and now I've got 2 new members. This is awesome. Man, it's great. If you are a real Mexican, you should ask Mexicanos in China for that question. I don't know that person. I don't know that person. Let's see. English teachers who hold African passports. Yeah, I mean, it all depends where you're from, and it depends on your accent and, a few other things. English is still the biggest market in China from IP Desperado. That's absolutely right. Next are Japanese, German, French, Russian, Spanish teachers as well. Yeah, Russian is becoming more and more popular for sure. I've noticed a lot of my students who are taking Russian classes at the same time. Fantastic. It's great. Well, okay. All right, Rob. So fair enough. 25K it's a big number, right? But I guess in terms of like, if you think 10 years or almost 10 years of YouTubing, 10 years and 25,000 subs, that's not really successful. I mean, and it's mostly my fault because I've deliberately chosen to take my channel this way, whereas other China YouTubers who have come up in the past like 3 or 4 years, they have way more subs than me. Or like people like the Barretts, for example. Like the Barretts have only been making YouTube videos for like 1 or 2 years or something, and they've got huge audience. Or This is China. He's been doing YouTube for not very long. He's kind of catching up to me. And there are a few other people like they have made a specific type of content that I've chosen not to do. So, if you look at success in terms of numbers, then I'm a very unsuccessful YouTuber, but I prefer the community. I prefer having more thoughtful discussions. Like we've had some amazing comments during this live stream, some amazing like questions that have been asked. And when I've had people on live streams in the past, they said, your subscribers are awesome because they ask good, thoughtful questions. And I find that to be more valuable than just having 100,000 subs. So, yeah, it depends on your definition of success. So, yeah, okay, let's get back. Let's see. Do I post videos on Bilibili? Yeah, I do, but not much. Bilibili is very restrictive. So if you don't know, like Bilibili is sort of the Chinese YouTube now. It's something, yeah, it's kind of the Chinese YouTube now. There's also Yoku and a few others, but yeah, I don't post on it because it's so restrictive in terms of what content you can post, and like I've had the majority of my videos deleted from Bilibili, so I don't post on there anymore. Not really. I've posted 2 videos recently, but they're the same videos as on my YouTube channel, but they're just translated. And that's the other thing. I don't like translating my videos. It takes too long to do. Um, I don't enjoy translating very much. Yeah, there we go. Ooh, I've been talking for a while here. Let me get a little bit of water, and then we'll get back to it. I'm gonna go over here. Oh, hold on. Here's my house. Oh, there's water in here. Okay. Perfect. All right. Here we go. I hope my house isn't too messy. It's all right, I guess. All right. Good. Okay. Let's see. Pop culture, unpopular opinions before class. So, yeah, and I guess I would have them. Okay. Okay, so I'm thinking about how to build up this lesson. I've got this middle section of my lesson that I'm not sure exactly how to approach. So there has to be a point in which you present your. There has to be a point in which you present this new language, your target language. So the hard part for this one is when do I present that and how do I present it? So yeah, that I'm going to have to think about how to present this new language. Do I just do it from a dead stop, or do I do it after a session, like with a feedback session? I probably will do that. So after maybe they come up with, maybe after they come up with a few example unpopular opinions, maybe I could give some feedback on their opinions, like some content feedback, and then go into the new language. Yeah, after they provide topics. Yeah, we could do that. And then have some sort of and then, like, obviously the formula is controlled practice and then free practice, which we already have. But controlled practice, feedback, and then free practice. So we'll keep working on that, but I have a general outline of what I want to do now. So we'll think about this. Okay, so Bobby's retracted some things. Chaotic Storm, just saw your channel. Your perspective is refreshing. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. James has the same problems with presenting. Yeah, because you want to present the new language, or at least remind him of a new language, but you don't want to stop the momentum of the lesson, because like that momentum has to build throughout the whole class. Like when I have a class, I want my class to be sort of like a I want my class to be sort of like this. Like there has to be a sort of bell curve, almost like that. Your momentum has to start with your lead in, and then you have to do these little activities, and then you build up to the final activity, the free practice of the class, and then you give feedback, and then you assign homework, and then this and that. So it's sort of everything has to build towards that climax. It's hard because, yeah, when you present your new language, you don't want to. Watch out, Lechimba.
Aston Villa 7-2 Liverpool.
Aston Villa 7-2 against Liverpool.
Yeah.
Wow. Does anybody else follow the Premier League here? Or Premier League, if you want to say, what? Okay, I've got to, dang, go Villa, man. Go Villa. I got to talk to a couple of my friends who are Villa fans. They're going to be happy. And there was Crystal. You might have seen a little bit of her head there. Yeah. So, huh? Wow, that was interesting. Huh? So yeah. Yeah. You gotta. Like I said before, being a good teacher is really hard. Like building a cohesive lesson and not straying from the topic, and also like following the momentum of the class, like keeping that pace. You know, class is a lot like videos, a lot like live streams, are all about the pace of everything and introducing new elements so that people aren't getting bored. It's hard, man. It's hard. Um, so I've got a basic outline of that lesson, so that's good. Um, so let's see, James. Really, Bilibili and Yoku are restrictive. You can play mainstream music. Well, so okay, James. With Chinese social media, yeah, things are very restrictive. You're not allowed to talk about certain subjects. Obviously, um, you're not like it's not restrictive in terms of having music. You can have music on there, that's fine. You can blatantly rip off other people's content. That's fine. People steal my videos all the time and they put them up on Chinese social media all the time. That's fine. But what it is um, everything has to be super positive about China. Everything has to be super positive, and it has to be that sort of mindless, shallow content. If you get too deep into a topic, or if you cross some sort of arbitrary line, like some sort of political or societal, cultural line in some way that maybe you don't even think you did, you were just trying to discuss a topic, but the censors will just like cut it down. Like I've had so many of my videos deleted from Bilibili and Yoku, or not Yoku, but Bilibili, just like, and they were about food, but like because I said something negative about the food, they got deleted. Or I said something like negative about the region that the food comes from, like stinky tofu. I said that like, oh man, you Hunan people are crazy for eating this kind of stuff, blah blah blah. And then that video got deleted, presumably because I said that Hunan people were crazy. Or I said that people that eat jiang shui mian are psychopaths. I said something to that effect. Well, that gets deleted. Or I show a map of a region of China. Like I'll show a map of Gansu province. And maybe I get the map from Google Maps. So Google's blocked in China, can't use that map. Or the map may be slightly incorrect. I did have that happen one time where the map was slightly different than the Chinese map, and then that gets my video deleted. Um, it's it's so dumb. It's so dumb. Um, yeah. So there we go. Let's see. Yeah. There we go. So what age do I teach? I teach university freshmen. Yeah, freshmen. Um, so they're usually 17 or 18 years old. Yeah, that's about the age that I usually teach. Mhm. And that's another thing about coming up with your lessons, right? You have to always consider the age of your students. So I found that Chinese students, hmm, I've got to be nice here. Hmm. Chinese students tend to, Snarky can totally back me up on this. Chinese students tend to be kind of immature for their age. I mean, you just got to say it. They're pretty immature for their age, and it's not their fault. It's not their fault. we'll talk about it. So if I'm teaching 17 or 18-year-olds in China, I would have to treat them like 14-year-olds in the States, or 13-year-olds, because they've sort of been kind of repressed. They've been kind of pushed down because they've been studying machines the past few years of their life. They haven't been able to have relationships. They haven't been able to travel. They haven't been able to do a lot of things. So they're kind of stuck. They're a little bit behind in terms of their emotional IQ and their social IQ. This is not everyone, of course, but it tends to happen. So, you know, this sort of lesson is perfect. Unpopular opinions, because it has to do with pop culture. Because, um, like when it comes to pop culture, who are the craziest people when it comes to pop culture? 14 or 15-year-olds. They love their bands. They love their artists. They love their, this, they love that, like so deeply. And that's the way that Chinese university students are. Whereas by the time you get to university in the USA, you've moved past that sort of fangirl, fanboy period, and you've become more mature. So you have to think about that. So, for example, one of my coworkers does a lesson on, are you conservative or are you liberal? Not politically, just in terms of your overall views on life. That I can't do. I can't do that lesson. It's too difficult. It's too abstract for most of my university students. So just because they are of a certain age doesn't mean you can tackle like adult topics quite yet. You can do some. But not always. And Simon agrees with me. Thank you, Simon. And Snarky agrees with me. Thank you. Yeah, they tend to be inexperienced. It's the frog in the well idiom. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. That's totally it. So Burboba Bamba. Can you explain that name? That's a very interesting name. Am I sure? Because there are lots of people complaining about stinky tofu and regions on Bilibili. Well, yeah, I am sure, because on Bilibili, when they delete one of your videos, they give you a reason. Like they say that you spoke about sensitive topics, where I didn't. That's their code word for, like, you don't agree with our narrative. And things are more restrictive for foreigners than they are for local people. Like, there are a lot of streaming platforms where like foreigners can't even stream on like domestic Chinese platforms, because it's just like you have to get permission to stream. So like that's a thing. Yeah, they tell you. The one where I put the incorrect map, it said the map was incorrect. Where I said I made a video that was 100% positive about Chengdu. I still don't know why that was deleted. It said mention sensitive topics. I still don't know what that's about. Yeah, they tell you what it is, but generally they say you talked about sensitive or inappropriate topics, but you don't. So you have to just kind of guess, what did I say? And usually it's just something negative. So yeah, Simon, in this way, they are quite cute. Yeah, students can be pretty cute. Absolutely. They a lot of them are so innocent. Yeah, they are so innocent. But yeah, that's the way it is. Yeah. So yeah, I feel okay about this. I feel okay about this lesson, unpopular opinions. So I feel like I can move on. So I feel good about that. Then I would, I can move on to the next lesson. Are there any other? Yes. Okay. There is a lesson, another new lesson, and that is, let's see, describing an internet post. Okay, good. All right. I want to teach abroad soon, but I'll be honest, it seems really nerve-wracking to have that much responsibility. Is it really that tireless? Um, Interesting. What, tireless? I'm not really sure what that means. Maybe tiresome is what you. So I would say for you go through different phases. You go through different phases of lesson prep. Some lessons you do, like some years you will like meticulously plan every single lesson. You will go like, we have this stage of the lesson, and the purpose of this stage is to open up their minds and to what's that called? Opening schemata or something like that. Keying schemata. I forget what the technical term is. The purpose of this stage is to do this, and the purpose of this stage is to do this, and it moves into this because this. I justify that there are times where you go through that. There might be a semester where you plan like that. There might be a semester where you just you plan topics only before the semester starts. There may be semesters where you just plan week to week. Um, there may be semesters where you use all new lesson plans. There may be semesters where like the thing is, I never teach the same semester twice because I'm always trying to improve. I'm always trying to get better. If you want to be a good teacher, you need to put in the time. So Simon says, I lesson plan at least 3 hours for each hour I teach. That's pretty good. That's decent. I will spend, if it's a completely new lesson where I've never done anything like it before, I will take a day to plan that lesson and make the PowerPoint and anticipate the problems and think about how I will use the classroom space, to think about all these little things. So for this person, Chaotic Storm, let me add you, Chaotic Storm. Read a book called Learning Teaching by Jim Scrivener. I think that's how you spell his name. So that book right there, that book will give you sort of an introduction into like very basic methodology, and it will give you an introduction into the types of activities that you can do. It's a very good one. Also check out what's another good one? Oh, Sound Foundations in terms of pronunciation. It's by Adrian Underhill. It's very good. He's the one who created the phonemic chart that so many teachers use. British guy. He's got a great workshop online you can check out. Also, Learner English. I forget the author of that one. Learner English is really good because it breaks down English errors by region. So if you live in China, students will make these kinds of mistakes. If you teach in South America, they will tend to make these kinds of mistakes. If you're teaching in France, they'll tend to make these kinds of mistakes. If you're teaching in blah, 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 that book's dead useful. That's dead useful. That's a really good one. There's another okay one that's just called How to Teach English by Jeremy Harmer. That one's okay. Not my favorite, but let's see. Okay, let's go back a little bit. What if you used a conceptual or inquiry question in your lesson in the middle to make them consider their point of view. I've done that before. That's more of a second semester thing because I have my students for 1 year. Um, yeah, when you get into more abstract things and you get into more critical thinking, I tend to do that in my second semester more. But I could, yeah, that will be, yeah, I'll have to think about that for that particular lesson, um, for that unpopular opinion lesson. So let me write that down. I could definitely do that in the 90-minute version. In the 45-minute version, I don't have time. Because yeah, some of my classes are just 45, not 90. So yeah, anyway, back to it. Yeah, 3 hours just for like preparing the lesson, at least. Like some new lessons, I will take an entire day to plan a 45-minute lesson. I will take an entire day to think about how that lesson goes. Um, it's easy to motivate the top students, but it's a challenge to do it for all students. What do you think? I, I disagree. Well, actually, no, I don't. I think where it depends where you're teaching and what you're teaching. Like I teach at Sichuan University, which is a top uni. So my students are already the best of the best in China, pretty much. They're already like cream of the crop, generally speaking. Um, so they're generally speaking pretty motivated, and throughout China, generally speaking, students really respect their teachers. So you won't have a ton of discipline problems. You might have some. Um, and in terms of motivating students, I think it's just about creating an engaging lesson, one that has good pacing. It's paced well, and you start from the lead in, then you get into like it's all about you've got to create classes within your class. You've got to create groups. Groups, I noticed, were a big change. Having group activities and team activities was a really good motivator because students in China tend to like to show off. They like to show off how good they are. Um, Even if they want to pretend to be modest, they like to show off. So you put them in a team together, then it tends to work really well. Um, but yeah, it's not, if you can show them that English is a tool to pursue their interests, that'll motivate a lot of people. Because so many people like movies, they like music, they like these things. And if you can show students that English is a tool to get deeper into those things that they already enjoy, that generally will motivate people already. You can just show them the fun things about English. Um, so let's see. Ooh, 3 hours to prep for oral English, 9 hours to prep for my Western Civ class. I used to teach Western Civ. Yeah, that's a hard class to teach. You have to really do a lot of synthesizing. If desperado, you're a serious teacher, not like those who teach for money, away from better opportunities. Yeah, I appreciate that. I I think I try to be serious. That's what my that's what my visa is for. That's the only reason I'm in China is to teach. At least from the government's point of view, that's the reason I'm in China. So I want to be good at what I do. And if I stop going to class or if I start having really crappy classes, the students will complain, then I may lose my job and then I'm out of China. And yeah, it's important. Here's my unpopular opinion. Um, Polyglots are much better English teachers than bilingual people. Is that an unpopular opinion? I don't think so. I think if you speak a lot of different languages, then you have a better window into the language learning process. I don't see any problem with that opinion because, I mean, let's think. I mean, if you think about it, you have to learn. If you know 5 languages, that means You've had to be a beginner 5 times. You've had to, or at least 4 times. You know, as foreign languages go, one native language, 4 foreign languages. You've had to go through that beginner process 4 times. So you remember what it was like. You know what it's like to start studying a language. And you know what it's like for it to be exciting. You know what it's like to plateau. You know what parts of the language are really important to learn, what you should prioritize. You prioritize basic sentence structure. You prioritize that and vocabulary at the beginning. And then later you work on certain other things. Part of the CELTA is you have a foreign language lesson where the tutors, the CELTA tutors, will give you a lesson in a completely different language. So when I did my CELTA, we had a lesson in Bosnian because my teacher was from Bosnia. So like it's an offshoot of Russian, you know, but it's a completely unknown language for me. So we had a lesson 45 minutes long that was completely in Bosnian. No English, no Chinese, no other language, just Bosnian. And that took me back to what it was like to be a beginner. Um, and it really gave me a lot of sympathy for elementary students. So yeah, if you're a polyglot, you know that process in and out. And you know, assuming if you're a polyglot, you've learned languages from different regions. So learning those different languages from different regions, um, you would have to deal with the different concepts because every language and every word, you know, they have concepts associated with certain words and certain types of thinking. Um, and so you would get used to dealing with those different concepts within language acquisition. That's awesome. So yeah, that's not unpopular at all. So well done, James. Okay, city lights. City lights. Um, learner English. That is the name of the book that has all the different types of mistakes. And I would say for any teacher, um, probably the easiest piece of advice, but also the most difficult piece of advice, is to anticipate your problems before they occur. So, if you are presenting a bit of language, you need to anticipate, you know, what kind of mistakes are they going to make? You're going to present this language to them. Are they going to have subject verb agreement problems? Are they going to have problems? Well, are they going to have problems with the usage, like the form? Are they going to have problems with the pronunciation? Are they going to have problems with understanding the meaning of it? So, like meaning, form, pronunciation, these 3 things, you have to think about it. Um, you have to think about it. So, um, anticipate all of those problems before class starts. That's the easiest bit. So Sun, ooh, I don't know that one. I don't know the other character. Sun Wei Dan, maybe. I don't know this character. I don't know these characters. What kind of guitar is that? So this is interesting. So this is it's called a Kimbara guitar, and this guitar was produced by a music company in the UK, FCN Music. This music company in the 80s and 90s in the UK. And they were designed to be kind of budget guitars that also sounded good. So like this, I think back in the 90s, this cost like 200 pounds. So it's a decent guitar. It sounds great, but it's made in China. It was sold in the UK. My friend got this back in the 90s in the UK, and he's had it ever since. And he brought it with him to China. So it was made in China, got shipped, and now it's come back to China. And it's like a vintage guitar. It's 30 years old now. Like that's crazy, but it sounds really good. It's fun to play. It's just it's not a, it's not a super well made guitar, so there are problems with the neck and the action and things like that. So it's yeah, it's not perfect, but it's good. I enjoy it. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and like play the guitar for you guys because it's not what the stream is for. But it's an interesting story. So I thought I would share. Ugh, Sun Yi song. It's a hard one. Yeah. Um. Oh, you recently bought a Strat. Yeah, there you go. But this is actually a Telecaster. So these are Telecasters. So oh well. But yeah, Fender. Fender. It's a great brand. You know, it's a great brand. Very solid guitar. Um, a Fender Stratocaster is the best guitar, is the best electric guitar you can buy for like $400. Like it is absolutely the best. They're so versatile. They're solidly built. It's a very just overall, it's a good guitar. So yeah, have I ever received a complaint from my Chinese students? Yeah, I have actually. Um, I've gotten a couple of complaints in the past, but I haven't gotten any complaints in the last like probably probably the last 5 or 6 years, because I've learned how to, um, I've learned just how to be a better teacher. I've learned how to be more patient, how to be more empathetic. Whereas like in the past, um, I did like my first teaching job, I got a complaint because I wanted to be like edgy and I wanted to talk about things that I like probably shouldn't have talked about. I wanted to be edgy. I wanted to do something different. Um, and I didn't really care what my students thought of my class. I had like, this is my idea. This is my goal. I don't care what people think. I'm just going to do it. So I got a complaint for that, um, which wasn't good. That's not how you should approach teaching. That's not a good way to approach teaching. And um, and also, I had a complaint. I've been complained about because, like, looking back on it, it's very clear. Like, I was very unhappy with the jobs that I had at the time. I was very unhappy at those jobs because of the work environment and the place that I was living. I was a very unhappy person, so I took things personally. And so I would like be really hard on students and I would be very, oh, it's not good. Um, but as I've kind of gotten older and more experienced, I've learned to not take things personally and to learn that, um, when you step into that classroom, you need to leave emotion at the door. You need to leave all of your issues at the door. You need to come in and be the person that they need you to be, regardless of how you feel. That's really important. That's kind of step number one. That's teaching 101. But a lot of people don't. We're only human. Sometimes people forget that. But I've been pretty good about it in recent years. So yeah, you just leave everything at the door. Be the teacher. Hmm. All right, here we go. Wow, almost 2 hours. We still got 30 something people. Well done. Well done. If you enjoy these kinds of streams, click that like button. Let me know. Let me know if you like this kind of like, this is sort of a deeper discussion of teaching and the mindset behind teaching. If you like it, definitely let me know and hit that like button and leave those comments in the chat. The chat's kind of gotten quiet, so maybe people have this on in the background while they're doing other things. But yeah, definitely let me know. It's fun. I enjoy talking about this teaching thing because I love teaching. I love my job. So yeah, if you like it, smash it, smash that like button, definitely. Um, if you feel like throwing me a buck or two, Patreon is always a thing. Channel memberships are a thing. Simon, you're still engaged. Fantastic. Bruce, Willie, Bruce. I'm just looking at that picture. Next time, go to Shenzhen and travel and Guangzhou. I've been to Guangzhou twice, 3 times, twice, 3 times, something like that. I don't like Guangzhou. It's not a good place. Shenzhen, I don't have any interest in going to Shenzhen really. I will go eventually because it's an important city, but it seems kind of very vanilla. Shenzhen feels like it's a new city. There's no like real local history. It was all built up for tech and free trade and stuff like that. So I'm not super interested in it. Yeah. Okay. I totally forgot about this whole like teaching part of the thing. Um, so yeah, the other lesson I was thinking about is describing an internet post because we do that a lot, right? It's a important kind of aspect in life these days. It's we tell people about something you saw on WeChat, something we saw on Weibo, something we saw on TikTok, something we saw on Facebook, something we saw on the news. It's really important. Um, it's important. Um, so my whole thing would be my aims. One would be to review narrative tenses, review and practice narrative tenses. Be better able to understand and communicate a story in a logical, structured way. In a more logical, structured way. Okay. Whoa, got a few comments here. I'm studying in Tianjin. I came from Colombia. All right. I hope you're enjoying Tianjin. I did not particularly enjoy Tianjin. There's some great things about the city, but I didn't particularly enjoy. One of the upsides of their innocence is they tend to do what they're told with no complaints. Yeah, that's actually totally true. Kind of Chinese students tend to just take it, just take whatever you give them. Especially they're freshmen. They're freshmen in college. My students are. They're away from home for the first time. They are, well, maybe not away from home, but they're like utterly without mom and dad. Many of them for the first time, and a lot of them are in a new province. They're in a new city. With totally new people, and they're very impressionable. They're very impressionable, and they're looking for someone to guide them. They're looking for someone to give them advice. They're looking for someone to look up to. So, as a foreign teacher, you are automatically different from their other teachers, and your classes are automatically different. So you should give them something to look forward to. You should, communicate that I am different from your other teachers. It's very important. You need to stand out, because if you don't, then what's the point of you being there? Because then a Chinese teacher could just teach the same things that you teach. So you need to teach things that other teachers don't. Teach functional language, teach social skills, teach thinking strategies, teach connected speech, teach better pronunciation, teach stress and intonation, all that. Do you like teaching when the school imposes a method, a book, or software? Um, Interesting question. No, I, I would just overall say no, um, because okay, I would say if a so there's a difference between a department having a goal and a department having a method. Um, so if a department has a goal, I think that's important, right? The goal of your department is to improve CET scores. Great. CET is the college English test. Every Chinese student has to pass the band 4 level before they graduate. So if your goal is to improve CET, fine. I can teach that, but I want to have my way of doing it because I've spent years kind of honing my techniques and finding better ways to do it. Um, or maybe your goal is to improve a few specific facets of language. Great, we can do that. But I don't like um, I would not like a school to say, this is how we teach a class. Like if they tell me that there's a specific method of teaching, like first you need to do this activity. Well, first we always do this sort of thing. And then we always do this sort of thing. And then we always do this, like giving you a blueprint for class. That's wrong because that implies that there is one way of teaching and that yeah, that's not good because that's always set by leaders. It's not set by teachers. That sort of thing's never set by teachers. It's always set by department heads who usually are not teachers. They're admins. Um, so, but using a book, that's fine. Using a book is fine. Um, in China, you will have freedoms to use a book or not use a book most of the time. So it's not a big deal really. And you can always adapt a book. You can always adapt a book and change a few things. Schools will always be understanding of that, as far as I know, unless you're teaching like an IB curriculum. Like if you're teaching IB or like at an international school, you will have to really strictly follow their curriculum. But in terms of teaching ESL, um, yeah, yeah, you have a pretty good amount of freedom. What subjects do I teach? I just teach spoken English, oral English. That's what I teach. Do I know do I know Kobe Bryant? I think we all know Kobe. Yeah, I think we all know Kobe. Do I miss Texas Steakhouse? I mean, sure. I don't usually think about I don't think about Texas very much, if I'm honest. I don't think about home. I don't think about Texas very much. It's just yeah, like I've got a good life here, so why would I, think about it? I mean, I understand some people, they're very connected with their roots, but I've made a conscious effort to get away from Texas and the things that it's associated with. So, yeah. I watched your videos related to Tianjin before coming to China and also the university where I'm studying right now. Oh, so you must be at Tianjin Foreign Students or Foreign Studies University. Well, great. Um, cool. Fantastic. Yeah, we're coming up on 2 hours. That's pretty crazy. A 2-hour live stream. The viewership has dropped off a little bit, which is understandable. It's getting a little bit later in the USA. China, people are waking up and they're probably cooking lunch and things like that. It's but it's been good. We'll do maybe 5 more minutes, and then I'm gonna head out and get a couple of things done. And yeah, so any more kind of last minute questions, any more comments, things like that, any more likes people want to give me, that'd be great. So um, yeah, that'd be great too. Um, yeah, I may finish this lesson plan a little bit later because you guys just have so many good questions, that I get distracted. I I Oh, you just joined. All right. Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here, Constantine. Um, but yeah, we'll do 5 more minutes. It is unfortunate. People are always in different time zones. They're always coming in from different places. So, um, Constantine Voronin. I wonder, where are you watching from? That's an interesting name. Sounds very Eastern Europe. Uh, or I'm totally off. um, yeah. Let's see. Are you teaching in KM? I think I know you. Oh, I don't even know what KM means. Oh, Kunming, Kunming. That's what it means. I teach in an IB school and I have a degree of autonomy, but for the most part, I'm locked into a certain set of curriculums. Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, you are locked into a certain set, but yeah, you do have, even with that, you do have a degree of freedom. Simon, let's catch up when I'm next in Chengdu. Yeah, sure, maybe. This is a guitar. No name. This is a guitar. It's a Kimbara acoustic guitar. We talked about that a little bit earlier. You possibly mentioned it. Yunnan University won't let me out of Kunming at the moment. Yeah, Sichuan as well. Like they won't. Sichuan doesn't want people traveling outside of the province because of COVID and whatnot. Yeah, we're like my school told me, don't travel outside the province. Don't do it. Like you're not allowed to. One of my oldest friends got married in a Henan province. I don't know why you would ever go to Henan province, but um, yeah, he got married there, and I wanted to go because he's one of my oldest friends, but we're not allowed to travel because they check. Well, long story. Belarus. Okay, I knew Eastern Europe was in there somewhere. That's a cool name, man. Constantine. That's a cool name. I really like it. Yeah, Snarky. They don't want me leaving Shanghai at the moment. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. But you get on Weibo, you get on QQ or WeChat or whatever. You see these videos of people clogging up all the travel sites. It's just stupid. Oh, for those of you who don't know, right now is the Chinese national holiday. I call it Guoqing, Guoqingjie. So it's also called the Golden Week. So everyone in China has a holiday right now. So you got the whole country traveling around and clogging up tourist sites. It's pretty freaking crazy. So, yeah. Watching from Australia, Raven. All right, Australia. I love the Aussies, man. The Aussies are awesome. I don't think I've ever met an Aussie I didn't like. Let me think. Yeah, like Aussies, Kiwis, and Canadians. I love them. Like all, you three groups of people are just great. But I mean, I got love for everybody. But those three, I tend to meet a lot of. New subscriber, but loving how informative your videos are. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us. Simon is also Australian. That's why I like you. That's why I like you, Simon. The Aussies are fantastic people. Yeah, so Raven, welcome to the channel. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you learn a lot. Kind of like I was saying before, Iceman's Canadian. Of course he is. Of course he is. I love the Canadians, man. Yeah, I mean, we were talking about that earlier. I really try to make informative content, not clickbaity, not mindless entertainment. I want to make informative content. Do I know anyone teaching in Hangzhou? Hangzhou. I do know somebody in Hangzhou. Who is it? There's a YouTuber teaching in Hangzhou. Jamaica Funk. That's the guy. Jamaica Funk. He's a teacher at a university somewhere in Hangzhou. Yeah. So there's that guy, and I know somebody else around there. I can't remember right now. It's a pity I joined late. I'm rewriting all my lesson plans. Well, yeah, it's too bad because I actually did plan out a lot of one lesson on unpopular opinions. So I got the bulk of it right here. I'll have to, of course, flesh out the details, but you missed it, Constantine. You missed it. And for those of you who don't know, there is a link to my Google Drive in the description where I've got my syllabus for this semester, as well as one PowerPoint presentation from one lesson that I made a video about a few days ago. So you can check that out. Ooh, a sample lesson on our group WeChat. I want to get in on that. If there's one thing that teachers really love, it's free lessons, right? It's free lessons. We always want to learn from other people. We always want to share with other people, or we should want to share with other people. A lot of people don't like sharing, but it feels oddly private, right? If you're a teacher, you don't want to share your lessons because it feels really private. Like, this is my baby, it's my baby. I've been working on it by myself. And then having other people pick apart your lessons just sucks. It sucks. But I do feel like it's important. It's important to share your lessons and have people kind of criticize you, because it's so easy to get into a bubble where you think that everything you're doing is right. And you find a way to justify even the stupidest things. And to have people hold you accountable and, be real with you, I feel like is really important. It's so important. So I've been trying over the last few years to share more lessons with people and talk more with other teachers and share what I know. I do get into, I wouldn't say debates, but I do get into discussions like about like why I do certain things, and I have changed my mind about some practices, and I have changed my mind about the types of lessons that I do, because everyone has their own experience with teaching. Everyone has their own kind of trial and error process. But I think I've got a solid group of lessons put together for my particular teaching context. So it's in the description. There's a link to that Google Drive. So yeah, Constantine, if you're teaching a specialized subject, then that's obviously a different animal. So okay, so you're researching life in Chengdu, Raven. Well, yeah, that makes sense why you found me. That makes sense. Oh, cool. All right. I'll do that. I'll add you right now. We'll do it right now. I like your name, Aussie. Yeah, welcome to the friend requests, buddy. You might get a bunch of them. Here we go. Brisbane. Yeah, one of my best friends who's since passed on. He's since passed away, but he was from Brisbane as well. Love that guy. Rest in peace, Aussie John, AJ, the best. We love you. Okay. Wow, you already accepted me. That was very fast. That was very fast. Yeah, we'll share everything. It'll be good. Um, whew. It's been a couple of hours. It's about time to wrap this up. It's so funny. My wife has been in the bedroom, just like I bet she's been just waiting to come out and get her day started. She doesn't want to like come out and like be in the video. I feel kind of bad for her. Um, yeah, observing other teachers during their lessons is also very useful. I 100% agree. 100% agree. We used to have one off period per week at Sichuan University because all of our teachers have the same schedule. We all have the same schedule. But there was a point in which we all had an off period at different times. So I could go in and watch other people's classes. And that was so useful. I learned a couple of things about what I should do, and I learned a couple of things of what definitely to never ever do. Um, like watching some of the other teachers, like, oh man, this class is horrible. Or in some teachers, it's like, man, this is a master class. It's so beautifully done. Yeah, it's important. Although it is a shame, though, all of our teachers have the same schedule, so I can't do that, unfortunately. But yeah, are there any other kind of last minute questions or comments? I do want to end the stream because I've had coffee and I've had water. It's time to get those out of my system and let Crystal out of the bedroom. So yeah, you okay in there? Hello. What? You okay? Yeah, she's good. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, she's not in confinement. She can. You're free to come and go. But yeah, I think she doesn't want to. But yeah, we'll let her out of confinement. What's in the fridge? What is in the fridge? I don't even know what's in the fridge. Um, we got some Rolos. Got some Rolos. That's one of my friends brought back from the States. Oh, you ate them. Oh, never mind. There's no more Rolos. Crystal ate them all. Yeah, it's a lot of keto stuff. Yeah, it's meat and um, there's some. Yeah, it's just there's a lot of meat in there and some cheeses and like different types of cheese. Yeah, nothing really exciting. All right. Well, there we go. That's about it. It's been over 2 hours. Crazy, crazy that we've been able to persist for this long. So I think with that, I'm going to think I'm going to end the stream. It's always weird ending the streams because it's just like, okay, bye. So, but yeah, I guess I'll sign. My nose. My nose is so itchy. So yeah, with that, I'm gonna end the stream. Thank you all very much for watching. If you feel like, throw me a buck or two. Patreon is a thing. Channel memberships are a thing. You can join the Discord and all of this sort of thing. We can talk one-on-one about certain things. And yeah, I don't know what the next video on this channel is going to be. I have no idea. I've got no plans for the future. We'll see. I've got a lot of potential ideas, but I have no idea what the next actual video is going to be. So it'll be probably just another live stream, maybe one of those choose your own adventure live streams where I go out and you guys tell me where to go and what to do. But yeah, I don't have any videos coming out at the moment. All right. Well, that's it. You guys have a nice day or have a nice evening wherever you are and whatever you're doing. I'll end it. So thank you all again very much for watching. I love you very much, and I'll speak with you again soon. And goodbye.